Hi, everybody. This is Carmen with Main Street Yoga. I have been thinking about this for a while, and I wanted to do some tips to help make your home practice more comfortable or more accessible for you and your body. And one of the first things that I like to talk to students about is hand placement in regards to the floor. And so I kind of brought you zoomed into the mat, and we're going to talk about things that happen a lot in a yoga setting and how to do some simple corrections for that adjustment. So a pretty popular posture to get into is table position, where you come onto your hands and knees. When you come onto your hands and your knees ideally are lined up below your hips, and your hands are going to be in line with your shoulders, but maybe not below the shoulders. If the hands are below the shoulders, typically the elbows can start to lock out and you start to put a lot of pressure in the wrist. I have lots of students that approach me saying, I have a lot of pain in my wrist. How do I fix that, or how do I make that better? And so we're going to talk about that. First of all, look at the way that you're placing your hands on the ground. If you place your hands on the ground, notice if your fingers are spread wide. Notice if you place your hands onto the ground, they just kind of rest there, almost like hands on a keyboard, where there's some curving of the fingers. Could you stick your finger under the palm of either hand? And if that's the case, then what that's going to do is that's going to put a lot of weight into the heel of the hand, and it's not going to take it out into the fingertips. So what I'm going to invite you to do is, when you place your hands on the ground, now if you're sitting at a table, if you're sitting on the floor, you can do this with me. Take your hands, place them on the ground, and just let them rest there. And notice what it feels like, almost like you've got hands on a keyboard or piano keys. And then take your hands and spread your fingers wide. And notice the sensation that starts to come across the palm. Imagine that your palm is more like a suction cup, and you're trying to get all the edge of the palm to suction cup the palm on the ground. And then take your fingertips and let your fingertips rest. Excuse me. And then see if you can grip with your fingerprints so that you've got a firm grasp on the ground. You might even notice that there's some engagement through the entire palm of the hand and all the way down the fingers. And that's a great way to spread the pressure out of the heel of the hand and out into the fingers. In some individuals, they find it really uncomfortable still. And so what I'll invite them to do, because you'll hear language that says, make sure that your middle fingers are parallel to each other, but that doesn't work for everybody. And what I mean by that is, if you look at how my middle fingers are lined up, they're pretty much running parallel to each other. If you were to slide or rotate your palms out to the sides, not a lot, you don't want to go at 90 degrees, just a few degrees out, you're going to shift some of the weight out of the heel of the hand, and you're going to bring more grip into what we call the L's of the hand. And that can help relieve pressure. But still, some students find that to be uncomfortable. So another trick that's pretty popular is, if you go down onto your mat, take the tip of your mat and just roll it up so that you're creating a little bit of a pad. The heels of the hands are going to rest there, and then you're still going to grip with the fingerprints. The palm suction cup idea is still going to be available. It's not going to be as sensation-wise accessible, because the part of the hand right below the fingers, that's going to be slightly lifted, likely. But it's going to give you some cushion and some support on the heel of the hand so that you can grip through your fingertips, and it can make it more comfortable. Also, just rolling at the top of the mat tends to be the most available. We could incorporate props and different things like that, but this tends to be the fastest and most available for students. A blanket isn't great, because a blanket could slide. And so if you start to go and transition into downward facing dog or do something else, you're going to lose that traction. So these are a couple tips to help make hand placement on the ground more comfortable. So the next time that you're on your mat, check out your own hand placement and hit us up with any questions. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a great week.